Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can set up VOTIFIER on your Minecraft server setup. So you're going to want to start off by going to your main server panel. I'm assuming that most panels will run on Pterodactyl, which has this sort of look to it. If you're using Pebblehost, it will have a slightly different setup, but I'll explain how that one works. So you're going to want to make your way over to the network tab and make an additional port for your server. If you don't have another port, you'll have to get your host to grant you one. That's the only way that VOTIFIER works. You need a separate port to your main server port. So just create allocation here and call it VOTIFIER. On Pebblehost, you'll have a little thing down the side saying additional ports, and then you can make a port there. You're going to want to copy this port because we're going to need it later. Now, if you're using a server that is not part of an Atomatrix server setup, then you'll have to download new VOTIFIER, which will be linked in the description, and also a voting listener like SuperVote, which is used in all the setups. These don't say that they support new versions, but they do work on new versions, so you'll be totally fine with that. So you're going to want to download each one and add it to your server. If you're using one of my server setups, however, they'll already be downloaded. If you go into plugins, you'll see that new VOTIFIER is here, and SuperVote is also here. So you're going to want to make your way to the VOTIFIER folder inside the plugins folder and go to config.yml. And in here you'll see there's a port 8192. You're just going to want to paste the port that it generated for you in your network tab. So you just put that there, click save, go to your console and restart your server. Once your server has restarted, you're going to want to come down into the plugins folder again, make your way back to the VOTIFIER folder and open the RSA folder. And then open public.key and copy this. Now you're going to want to not disclose this to anyone else. This basically allows anyone to give any rewards on your server. So the only place you want to disclose this is in voting websites. So we're going to want to test our VOTIFIER setup by using a VOTIFIER tester. You can find loads of these online, but I recommend this crafty.gg one. So you're going to want to put in your port that we designated earlier into here. Your VOTIFIER IP should be the same as your main server IP. So that will just be this one here. And we can paste that into here. And then your public key you'll find in your plugins VOTIFIER RSA and public key file, as I showed you earlier. So then if you click test on your VOTIFIER tester, you should see it says successfully sent a notification to VOTIFIER, and you'll see here that it's triggered it. It's just that the player Crafty isn't online. It gave it its money, and it also tried to give it some XP, but of course because the player Crafty isn't online, it hasn't. But when you vote on voting sites, it will use your username instead of the username Crafty. So you're also going to want to list your site onto voting sites. That's the whole point of VOTIFIER working. So I'll show you how to do that now. You're just going to want to come to a voting site. I recommend putting your server on about 5, maybe pick 5 of the most popular ones. You can just search Minecraft server list on Google to find out which one's the best one. I'm going to start with minecraftservers.org, however. You'll want to make an account, click add a server, add your server name in here. Your IP will be your either numeric IP or your domain if you have one. I'd recommend using a domain here because it'll be what people copy and paste into their Minecraft client. Your server port is your actual server port, not VOTIFIER port. So leave this as 25565 if you've got a default port or you're using a domain name. But what you're mainly going to want to see is enable VOTIFIER. Now, every site should have a VOTIFIER page somewhere on their add to server, and they'll all have an IP host, port and public key. And this is exactly the same as a VOTIFIER tester here. And then you can send a test vote. It will send a vote successfully, and it's just sent a test vote from Minecraft servers. So that's enabled correctly. Once you fill in everything else, you just add server, and then you've got your server set up on this Minecraft server list. So you're going to want to repeat that step 4 more times to get 5 servers. Of course, you can add as many or little server lists as you want. People can vote many times on different server lists, so it depends how overpowered you want your vote rewards to be, but then it will rack you up the server lists. So that's how you set up VOTIFIER on your server. Of course, if you want to configure the rewards, you can do so in the SuperVote plugin. However, they're already configured in all my setups, so if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It will already be configured, and I think most setups have 250 in-game money and a bit of XP that you get for voting. If you have any trouble and you're using one of my server setups, then be sure to join the Discord server. There'll be a link in the description and you can go and open a support post and we can help you out. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.